Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. Today in this video we're going to look at DXO Viewpoint 3. So DXO Viewpoint basically a specialized software by DXO Lab to fix fisheye effect, distortion and perspective. They have many other things in the software, but those are the three that generally DXO Viewpoint are specialized at. So we're gonna take a look at it right now. Let's jump in. So first of all, I've got a few photos that provided by DXO, so we're gonna try with those, and then we are going to take a look at the photo that I took so that whether or not actually the price is justified. In terms of the price, right now it's on sale at the time of the recording, cost about 50 bucks, but generally it's about 79-80 euro, depends on where you're living at. Now, first of all, I've got a photo right now in the screen that looks pretty bad due to the fisheye effect. So first of all, we're going to look at the automatic, how good at it. So if I go to the distortion on the right corner and click auto, immediately you see that it's already been fixed, which is pretty good, to be honest with you. Obviously, you need to remember that no matter how good the software, you're going to lose some part of the photograph. So for example, if I look at side by side, you see that far left, far right, you lost quite a bit of stuff. However, photo looks pretty natural. So that's pretty good, I have to say. So that's the distortion correction, automatic. How about I turn this on off and turn on and then do manual control. So that's the manual next to the automatic. And it still does a little bit of work by default because it's set in 50, but you have to go to the fisheye. So if you click fisheye again, it adds about 50 intensity. So from then you have a good starting point, and you can decide whether you wanna go crazy or you want to have some more details and sacrifice a bit of a fisheye effect. To me, even though it's manual control, but not that complicated. So that's how you fix fisheye effect with the DXO Viewpoint. Now we're going to look at another photo. For instance, I'm going to turn this one off, go to another photo. You have volume deformation. Now, suppose you took a photo with a wide angle lens with a lot of people, just like the photo you're looking at now. Now, generally, with the problem with the fisheye or any kind of wide angle lens, that the person at the front looks pretty close and distorted, while the people behind the person generally looks extremely far due to the wide angle lens. That's the reason why a lot of time people recommend to take photo of people with more into the long lens. Now, however, what if you have a photo like that where the people behind looks quite far than it should be? So you have the volume deformation. So I'm going to turn this one on, see what happens. So first of all, if you click the horizontal and vertical and click it, you see that it came a little bit forward. And then I'm going to turn this one off, reset, and then click the diagonal. So if I click diagonal, it does the job too. It depends on photo per photo. So you have to click it and check by yourself whether you're satisfied or no. Does a good job. I never had this kind of tool in any software that I'm familiar with. So it's kind of new to me too. Seems useful. So now moving on to another photo. For example, what if you want to fix perspective? That's another specialty of DXO Viewpoint. Now you have a photo here. Again, it's provided by DXO. I'm gonna get to my photos eventually after those. And you want to fix the perspective. Now you have an automatic version. For instance, if you click auto, well, it did a job immediately. Looks very, very natural. Now, what if you want to fix manually? For instance, if you click just vertical and you have this tool and you can put them wherever you prefer, depends on the building, and then click apply. Again, did a pretty good job. No, even if you do manually, generally speaking, it doesn't take long. Now, the vertical, it does the same job. You need to align them with the tool and click apply. We can do both all at the same time. And this is a particular one to me. This is what it does. Okay. Imagine you have a photograph like this one where generally if you use the perspective tool, problem is it also pull the foreground forward. But what if you want to save the foreground while fixing the perspective of a building like this one? In that case, you can just point them just like in this photograph, just within the zone. So it's going to fix just the building while keeping the foreground intact. Keep an eye on the photograph, right? And then I'm going to click apply and I'm going to look them side by side. So if you look at the foreground, it tried its best to keep everything intact. Although there is a person at the far right is gone, but you can almost see the shadow of it, which is very good. It's physics. So the software going to try its best to save as much as it can, but you're gonna have to sacrifice some part of the photograph. But to be honest with you, I'm very happy with the result. Now, finally, we're going to check the miniature JPEG. Even though the software specialized on perspective and distortion correction, which DXO Viewpoint itself is already good at it, but you have extra options such as miniature effect. I'm not really into this kind of stuff, but if you're into it, you have the option. But then again, you don't need this particular software for miniature effect. You're not paying 50 to 70 euro or dollar just to add miniature effect on your photograph, right? I mean, a Viewpoint is specialized in fixing lens correction. Miniature effect is another stuff. Anyway, we're going to look at it. So you turn it on, and automatically it adds kind of a miniature effect. Again, this kind of photograph, because this photo is provided by DXO, of course they're going to bring the best photo to make them look good, and it does a good job. So this kind of effect works photo case by case. That means that some photo it works, some photo it doesn't. But if it works, it does a very good job, just like the photo you're looking at it right now. Now there are some other thing, like for example, you have the automatic crop. We're gonna get to it in a moment. Is there any other photos that I'm missing? Oh, there you go. The perspective change, there is another one. For instance, just like this one, you have the photo, like, certain angle, you could not stand right in the middle to take the photo. You had to move left or right. Happens generally when you're taking street photography, happens when you are inside the museum or any kind of architectural place, where it cannot be due to security, due to a lot of people, you cannot stay in the middle. You have the software to fix those kind of issues. We're gonna look at it right now. For instance, vertical, and then put them on their place like that. Good for me in this photograph, for instance, I have the lines already. See the tiles there? You already have the line, so it's pretty easy to understand where you should put your tools on. Sometimes you don't have this kind of stuff, so you need to use your imagination and calculation. So therefore, it's always going to be a trial and error. So I'm gonna do that. There you go. We're going to look at side by side. I'm pretty impressed. So yes, obviously you're gonna lose some part of the photograph. When you're doing this kind of corrections, you need to remember again, over and over again, I keep saying that you are going to lose some part of the photograph. So it's based on subject matter, meaning that in this case, I want the photo to be straight first, and second, I want to have this window. Let's say the window is your main subject. As long as you're not losing the main subject, you are safe. So from that point of view, the software did a very good job. But I'm going to click reset, right? And then I'm going to go to the horizontal only and click auto. It doesn't do a very good job with the automatic. Again, it's a software at the end of the day. It's not artificial intelligence or a human. So you should not expect too much from the automatic correction. Now, all these examples that I just shown you, they are provided by DXO themselves. So you have to understand at the end of the day, as much as the photo looks convincingly good, the result looks convincingly good, is provided by the company, so there's going to be a bit of a transparency issue. So in that's why I actually went outside today and then took some photograph on my own, and we're going to take a look whether it's actually working with my photograph, because not every photo going to be the way the DxO one. You're gonna have your own way of taking photograph. You're going to have your own mistakes. How good is the software? Now we're gonna take a look right now. Right, so I've got first photo. You got my hand there on the top, so I wanted to block the sunshine so that I have all the photos intact. Now I have two problems at the same time. This photo taken with the GoPro 7. Now it has a fisheye effect, and it also has a problem with the perspective, because it's taken from the bottom of the bridge, so I have to bring it forward, right? So this is where the game begins. First of all, as you can already see, DxO doesn't have my photo in their module. For example, if you look at the top right corner, no DxO optical module is available to correct this image. So that means I have no choice but use a manual correction, because automatic won't work. So if I go to the manual, first of all, you can see that it's trying to fix the barrel distortion, but we don't have a barrel problem. We have pretty much all kind of problem, especially fisheye. So when I went to fisheye, it automatically added about 50 intensity. Very good starting point. Let's say I want to make it about a bit more perfect, right? What you can do, I encourage you to turn on the grid, right? This is the best way to fix any kind of manual correction. Now you go from there. So I'm gonna keep adding a little bit by little bit to make sure that it all fixed perfectly. Now you have a second problem. Problem is that, is it straight enough? In that case, I'm going to go to the horizon correction, click automatic, and automatic did a fantastic job. Honestly, you can clearly see in the photo that it did a good job. You just have to add a little bit more correction, fisheye correction. I think I'm satisfied. I'm looking at the screen for quite a long time, so this is the case that you got to take some break and then come back and take a look. To me, in my eye, they look good. Right, so we have done our fisheye distortion correction, right? But you have a second problem, which is the perspective. Now, if I click auto, does it do a good job? So I'm gonna click auto in 3, 2, 1, beam. Whoa, it does not do a good job whatsoever. So I'm going to reset that. Oh man, that looks horrible. And what I want to do, let's say I want to save my foreground as much as I can while fixing the bridge, right? And you can clearly see, first of all, the distortion correction side by side, you lost quite a bit of a bridge and my hand, although looks pretty natural. So I'm gonna go back and let's try with the 8 points. So 8 points, this is where the game began. So fun part is that, the good thing is that you can take a look and zoom in. So I'm gonna stop somewhere there, and at the bottom of the bridge, that looks good. Luckily I have a nice contrast, so I can actually easily see where to stop. Actually I think it's pretty easy from there, and somewhere on top of the T. Up, I'm gonna move side. There you go. Just about right. Now same here. So I'm gonna stop somewhere there. That over there. You see, it's taking a lot of time, but that's fine. I mean, as long as it gives me a good result, I'm happy to waste my time, because it's not waste after all. Now, I've done the top one side by side now. Good thing is that I fixed the horizon, so it's easier for me to make sure that easier for me to put the pointers. Same goes. So I'm going to stop somewhere there as well. At that point, there you go. Good to have some contrast, because you can clearly see where to stop. There you go. Now it better be good. Boom. Very good. Very, very good. You can see the horizon has a little bit of issue, so I can click automatic again, and voila. I've lost about 30 to 40% of the photograph, but my center of the image looks very good. You can see my finger like peeking through. Only thing you got left is cropping. What if I do automatic crop? No, it doesn't work. Oh man, it made me laugh. So I'm going to go back. How I'm gonna go back? I'm gonna turn this on off. And no. Wait, there you go. Whew. Oh, that was scary. Honestly, that came out of nowhere. Right, so what I do, I'm gonna pull down a little bit. So what I do, I'm gonna add unconstrained. So I'm going to make sure that I have my sides available. So I'll bring some images back, because as you can, this is how after the correction the photo looks like. Did you see that? So if you done this kind of correction manually in Photoshop, for example, or Affinity Photo, or any kind of manual correction, this is how that would look. And after that I need to add manual crop. So this is the original. That's the top right, top left. This is the part that you lost. So I'm going to try my best to bring maximum back. So I'm gonna go down, stop right before the empty space. Same goes for the left hand side, and click apply. Let's see. Up, almost made it. You can still see the little bit of my pinky peeking through the photograph. But anyway, my point is that so far, if you are following this video, it took me about automatic control. It's a hit and miss. It did a very good job at some photos and didn't do a very good job at the other photos. However, overall, still very quick and time saving, because at least you know where to click. The point is this software that you don't need to spend time looking for the sliders or the pointers. You got everything ready right in front of it. On the far left, you have got one little space. Far right, you got one little space with all the tools right in front of you. And on the top of that, you got the folder that we can open file for. You can save it. You can compare side by side. You can easily do that. You can do full screen. You can zoom in one-on-one. The good thing that personally I found one thing fascinating, that horizon control is pretty spot on. Before I go, I have another photo where I would like to see if the photo is doing its job. For example, this photo here is very complicated because it got no buildings, nothing. I got just basically a landscape photo with two of the most beautiful couple in the mankind history. Anyway, so if I had to fix my distortion, is it gonna do a good job? For example, I cannot again do any kind of automatic correction because clearly the DXO doesn't have the information, so I'm gonna do a manual control. In that case, I'm going to go to the fisheye, and you can see that it already did a quick job, and you can already see the empty space. In that case, what I can do an automatic crop. Generally, DXO is well known for their very good automatic crop. So I've got two jobs done. It looks very convincing. Now I'm gonna do a quick horizon control. And personally, I'm not very convinced with this correction because if you look behind my head, the town looks kind of tilting on the side. So I personally am not very convincing. Maybe I'm wrong, but it doesn't look very convincing to me. It looks very wrong. So I'm gonna reset it. And then is there anything else? For example, in this case, I can add kind of like a miniature effect. So if I click it, you can see that it did a pretty good job. Again, I'm not really into this kind of stuff, but if I go circular soft and you have like an 8-blade, for example, you can manually add blur. We're not gonna go there. So I'm gonna turn this one off. So yeah, I mean, so is DXO Viewpoint is worth your money? It's very fast, it's very quick, easy to understand, and there is no fuss about it. You have everything right in front of you, but is it impossible to fix distortion, perspective, and horizon without this software, easily with the other one? But my answer is that actually, if you have Photoshop or Affinity Photo, or personally I have a tool called Silkypix Developer Studio Pro where I have a specialized tool to fix perspective. It can do a very good job. I'm gonna show you right now. For example, so in my software in Silkypix Developer Studio Pro, if I had to fix the same photo with a lens correction, for example, it has an automatic correction, and then you can just quickly add some more, you can add some more distortion correction like that. So yes, DXO Viewpoint 3 can do better job than my software of Silkypix Developer Studio Pro. Now we are moving to the second photo. For example, perspective, this one. Can it do that? So I have a specialized tool for that. So I've got horizontal, vertical, and just both at the same time. So if I do the same thing that I did earlier with DXO, so I'm gonna point them exactly what I want. Same thing. I'm gonna do a nice and quick and click it. You see, it did do a very good job as well. I'm happy with the result. Again, DXO Photo Lab, they are known for their best lens correction module anyway. So if you are really into architectural photograph, or if you use a lot of wide angle lenses, DXO Photo Lab 4 itself does a phenomenal job. So I don't think you need a specialized software like DXO Viewpoint 3.1. Anyway, this is my review and take on DXO Viewpoint 3. I hope you liked the tutorial, the review. If so, like and subscribe, and I see you in the next video. Look after yourself. Bye bye.